Professor Inkspot's telescope. Bang! Billy woke up with a start. He looked at the clock. It was 6:30. Bang! Billy jumped out of bed and ran to the window. Next door he could see Professor Inkspot's shed. There was a small cloud of blue smoke above the shed. Billy saw a green flashing light. Fizz! Pop! Bang! The light changed to red. Billy got dressed quickly and ran round to Professor Inkspot's shed. "Are you there, Professor?" he shouted. A strange whirring sound began. A bell rang and an orange light turned to green. "It works!" a voice exclaimed. "Professor," Billy called, "is that you?" "Of course it's me," said the voice. "Come in, Billy, come in." Billy stepped slowly forwards and went inside. Professor Inkspot stood next to a strange machine. On the front were 4 large dials with numbers. Below the dials were several bright red buttons. In the middle was a square screen. Beside the screen was a handle. Under the screen was a row of switches. "What is it?" Billy asked. "It's an interactive space telescope," replied the professor. "It shows you what is happening in space. Do you want to see it work?" "Yes, please," said Billy. "Look here," said the professor. "You turn this, and press these, and pull those upwards." For several minutes the professor was busy. His hands moved quickly over the machine. Billy waited quietly and watched. At last the professor turned round. "It's ready," he said. Professor Inkspot pulled the handle downwards. A red light came on. He turned a dial. It clicked noisily. Then there was a loud buzzing sound. Billy jumped backwards. "Don't worry," shouted the professor. "Look at the screen." Billy saw small people in spacesuits. There were trees, but they were blue and yellow. The sky was bright pink. It was another planet. The professor pointed to a tree. "Watch this," he said. He pushed a button. Suddenly the tree filled the screen. Billy saw a very strange silver bird in it. "Let's look at the people," said the professor. "Press that switch." Billy pressed. At once the people on the screen were big. Billy gasped. "I know those people," he said. "What?" said the professor in surprise. "Yes," said Billy. "Those are the people in my favorite TV program, Adventures in Space. This isn't an interactive telescope, Professor. It's an interactive TV."
After listening to our lesson, now we are going to know the meaning of the new vocabulary. Professor. He is a teacher who works at the university. Telescope. We use it to watch the stars or the far things. With a start, suddenly, in surprise. Jump out of. For example, I jumped out of bed as I was late for school. Shed. A small building where we keep our tools. Flash. To shine brightly and suddenly. Exclaim. To shout or say something out of surprise or fear. Row. For example, our desks are in rows. Screen. For example, I like watching movies on a wide screen. Reply equal answer. Interactive is a system where the user can be involved. Several equal many. Dial. The phone dial has 12 buttons. Spacesuit, it means a cloth which wear the men in the space. For example, astronauts wear space suit. Planet, a large body in the space that moves around the sun. At once, immediately. Gasp, catch one's breath with an open mouth. Adventure, for example, we went to an adventure in the forest. Space, outside the planet Earth. So, now we are going to know the opposites of the lesson. Write the opposite. Upwards is the opposite of downwards. Backwards is the opposite of forwards. Inside is the opposite of outside. Quietly is opposite of noisily. Above is opposite of below. Behind is opposite of in front of. Push is opposite of pull. Slow is opposite of fast. Now you can have an important note. Complete. Pull a. Guess what is this? It is a handle. So, pull a handle. Press a. Switch. Push a. Button. Turn a. Dial. I hope you enjoy with our lesson. See you next time with another lesson. Goodbye.